Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso at thewatchbox.com. Your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Reach out to me directly. It's in the description below, tmosso at thewatchbox.com. Today, we are discussing a rich sports watch from one of the top independents in high horology. Based out of Schaffhausen, Switzerland, building only 1,500 watches a year, Moser Cie here proposes the Pioneer Center Second Midnight Blue, a timepiece 42.8 millimeters in red gold with black DLC titanium accents. It is impressive and imposing. A large watch, it measures 14.9 millimeters thick, and it's fairly broad across the wrist at 51 millimeters with a 22 millimeter spacing between the lugs. Throw it on my wrist, and this 120 meter water-resistant sports watch is broad but wearable. I wouldn't necessarily recommend it for wrists smaller than 14 centimeters circumference, but you can see that the shape of the lugs does help. It does sort of arc around at the edge. It's a little bit thick, but you can see that much of that is just the dome of the sapphire, so while it might not fit underneath the tightest of dress sleeves, it's more viable than you might think. Here's an over-the-top shot. Here's one more down the barrel shot to show you the clearance on each side of my wrist. Now let's take a quick look at the hardware and the software. The strap is a Moser factory piece. You can see curved spring bar so it doesn't come in contact with the flank of the case. It's vulcanized rubber and well vented with a little impression on the top to add some visual definition. On the underside, you can see there are striations to allow it to better grip the wrist, and you will note it is well vented across its length. There's a simple no-nonsense titanium DLC blackened Moser pin buckle, and you can see it features coining on its side to echo the coined recesses of the case, which have been blackened inboard of the bright polished red gold case flank. Now you note there's a little bit of a contrast between the polish on the side and the satin finish on the top, as well as the contrast between the blackened titanium elements and the satin finished gold elements. The timepiece has a domed bezel. It features a crown that is DLC blackened and a screw down unit, because this is a 120 meter water resistant sports watch. The dial is minimally adorned. This is not Moser's funky blue. Moser calls this midnight blue, and you can see by pulling the crown out, I can activate the stop seconds and set the watch against a reference. It is loomed. You can see there's lume outboard on the chaptering, outboard of each of the red gold faceted and polished indices. And then we have a fume fade, that fade from midnight blue at center to truly navy blue, almost black at the edge, quite appealing. This is a luminous dial that seems to reflect more light than it takes in. I know, not possible, but it gives you the impression that it's lit from within. Minimally signed, Moser Cie, nothing else. It's not one of their concept or purity dials, but you can see it hails from the same maker of those signature dials. Turn it all over, HMC 200, automatic winding with a bidirectional magic lever style winding system. It beats away at 21,600 vibrations per hour. It does have that stop seconds function, and to make it tough, it has a full balance bridge and a free sprung index like a Rolex movement. Now, Moser is impressive because via its precision engineering subsidiary, it's making its own escapements, it's making its own hairsprings, and it's making its own balance wheels. And if you look closely at this balance wheel, it's pretty impressive. It has recessed variable inertia white gold balance bolts, and they're recessed because aerodynamic drag is cut out by recessing the bolts. And while you might think that has a small effect on such small surfaces, the fact is, beating away at 21,600 vibrations per hour for 24 hours a day, every little bit counts. Now the movement, again protected down to 120 meters, features a double-crusted Cote de Genève that's fairly unique to Moser. There's satin finishing on all the wheels. Every screw head is black polished. You can see that the balance bridge has been satin finished and beveled on its edge. There are machined bevels here. They're neatly executed, as is the standard in this price point. And then there is more engine turning on the base plate below the balance. All of this quite handsome and neat. You can see the blackened titanium across the case back. This timepiece, which is truly a rich sports watch, is fabulous. A distinct change of pace from F.P. Journe's Line Sport. The real difference here is that unlike the Line Sport, you're getting a watch that is actually swimmable, and that's one of the signatures of Moser's Pioneer sports watch line. Reach out to tmosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details. And we're back with the Moser Pioneer Midnight Blue Dial in red gold by night.